shocked or at least surprised by the level of violence on display. Get ready to get shocked again. Get ready for Brock Lesnar, a 260-pound former NCAA wrestling champion who looks like the Incredible Hulk and punches so hard he breaks bones in people's faces.
Well, here comes the pain.
Brock Lesnar has always wanted to fight. 4 years ago, he was labeled the next big thing, but in the make-believe world of pro wrestling.
I was a white guy that looked like he was chiseled out of, concrete.
He's a genetic freak. If God was to sit there and, like, build a warrior, I think it would come out to be Brock Lesnar.
500 pounds superplex. Oh, my God.
He got the fame, the fortune, and the girl, Rena Merrill, a.k.a. Sable, the former wrestling diva and Playboy centerfold.
It's living the life of a rock star. You know, I had 2 Hummers, Mercedes, Corvette.
Living large.
I was living, airplanes, 4 or 5 houses.
Now, at age 31, instead of faking punches, Lesnar's taking them in the very real, very bloody world of mixed martial arts, where the 6'3", 265-pound heavyweight has emerged as one of the most promising fighters in the sport.
I'm the backwards guy, I go into the entertainment business, now I'm in the fighting, but somehow it's just kind of making sense to me.
It makes sense if you know where he's from. Webster, South Dakota, a town of fewer than 2,000 people near the Minnesota border. Lesnar grew up on this dairy farm, struggling to help his family hold on to a property headed to foreclosure.
We couldn't pay our bills. I can remember going to town to get a load of grain and the elevator not letting me have any. That's when I realized I want more than what Webster, South Dakota had to offer to me.
So Lesnar literally fought his way out.
He likes to beat on people. He grew up beating on people. Him and his brothers fighting all the time.
What is it like to simply maul somebody?
Well, it's a good feeling. Handling another human being and making them feel less than you was, I don't know, something that I got a thrill out of.
In high school, Lesnar channeled his aggression into football and wrestling. In 1998, he won a junior college national title as a heavyweight. 2 years later, as a senior at the University of Minnesota, he won the NCAA championship. Soon, World Wrestling Entertainment invited him to join its stable of showmen.
I'd never watched a lick of wrestling, and I'm like, oh man, that's not wrestling. That's like, that ain't real. But then they slapped a lot of money on the table.
Here comes the pain.
Only $250,000.
Lesnar was such a hit with fans that in 2002, he was crowned the youngest WWE champion in history at age 25. The money kept flowing into the millions, but it came at a steep price. What kind of injuries did you have?
I've torn both of my knees up, severe back pain, ribs, neck issues. I wrestled with my MCL blown out and 3 broken ribs, and I wrestled that way for 6 months because I became the champion. You're gone 300 days a year, and you're miserable climbing the walls in the locker room, waiting to come through the curtain in a different town every night that is exactly the same as the night before. There's like 2 years that I don't remember my life.
Why don't you think you remember that period very well?
Vodka and pain pills. That's why I don't remember it. I was in a lot of pain, mentally and physically.
Were you addicted?
I don't know, what's addiction, Did I take too damn many pills? Yeah. Did I drink too much? Yes. Did I become aware of that I was drinking and taking too many pills? Yes, I did.
There's a lot of pain in wrestling. I know countless wrestlers that are all dead today from having addictions to painkillers.
I just didn't want to be in the locker room 20 years from now looking like these guys and still doing the same thing. Being an entertainer wasn't fulfilling my needs, so I just bowed out and exited the building.
In 2004, Lesnar left the WWE and a 7-year, $45 million contract for a tryout with the NFL's Minnesota Vikings. His potential salary, the league minimum of $230,000.
There's Lesnar once again having a good time. Yeah,
But his skills as a defensive lineman were just too raw, and he kept getting into fights.
It was a way for me to get out of doing something I didn't know what the hell I was doing. So, well, let's start a fight.
Lesnar was one of the final players cut at the Vikings camp. Soon, he was without a paycheck and falling into another deep funk.
His tattoo on his chest shows exactly that. I mean, I asked him, I was like, what was that tattoo for? And he's like, it felt like I always had a knife at my throat.
Lesnar set his sights on MMA. In 2007, he lobbied the president of Ultimate Fighting Championship, Dana White, to give him a chance. At first, White doubted any WWE star could do well in a sport where the outcome isn't scripted.
They're athletic, and those guys are in great shape, but I wouldn't call it competition. Coming over to mixed martial arts, it's a big jump.
Lesnar's physique also raised big questions about steroids. You're just so big, and you come out of the world of pro wrestling.
We're done. Thanks, guys.
When you first sat down with Brock, did you ask him about steroids?
No, listen, in this day and age, with everything that's going on in sports, if you're taking steroids, you're a moron. As of right now, there was another...
White points out that fighters in championships are tested before and after each bout.
I know what he's asking.
Moments after Lesnar walked out of the interview, he addressed the speculation about steroid use.
I have never failed a drug test.
And here we go!
Lesnar has been impressive in all 3 of his fights. His UFC debut was last February. Before a sold-out crowd, Lesnar was pounding former heavyweight champion Frank Mir, but made a mistake, was taken to the ground, and lost. Still, White liked what he saw.
That was a fun fight, dude. That was so fun. Dude.
It ain't over. I hope it ain't.
Lesnar's most recent bout was in August. He won, breaking the orbital bone of veteran fighter Heath Herring just seconds into the first round. In November, Lesnar will get his shot at the heavyweight title against 45-year-old 5-time champion Randy Couture. The bout in Las Vegas has become the most anticipated event in MMA history and could make millions for Lesnar.
This is a finely orchestrated plan by Dana White. He knows what he has with Brock. This could be a perfect passing of the torch.
What would you tell those other heavyweights who think that maybe, you know, I should get that shot, not him?
Quit whining. You know, this is a business.
You got the shot because he can draw more on pay-per-view against Randy Couture than anyone else could. We still haven't seen his chin tested. We don't know if he can take a punch. We haven't seen him in a 25-minute fight, which this will be with Couture.
So how do you beat a guy like him? What exactly is your strategy?
In the fights that he's had, no one's taken him down. I certainly have the capability, regardless of his size, to put him on his back and see how he deals with that.
You know, he's got hands like pie plates, and they hit like anvils. Can you take one of those punches?
I intend not to.
What advantages do you have over him?
Youth, weight, strength, athleticism.
Yeah, he says he has experience. He also says he's stronger than he was 10 years ago.
My ass he is. I'm 31 and I'm not as strong as I was 10 years ago. That's a straight up lie.
Authenticity means everything to Lesnar these days. Gone are the Hummers and high life of his pro wrestling years. He lives quietly with his wife Rena Merrill, Sable, in small-town Minnesota.
Yes, I was.
Brock Lesnar is once again the next big thing. Only this time, the fight is real.
Can you see me now?
come fight night, I want to win. My intuitions of wanting to be a champion are deep inside me, and this is an opportunity for me to have a blast and enjoy, actually, once in my life, something that I'm doing.